Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at a very easy way to increase the storage space on your iPhone without breaking the bank. Now I was recently sent out one of these iDisk mobile memory drives by a company named OLALA, and I've actually worked with these people before a few years ago when they sent me a iPhone 6s battery case to review. But in today's video, we're going to be specifically talking about storage. One of the most common complaints that I hear about the iPhone is the fact that there is no SD card slot like you might find on Android flagship phones like the Galaxy S9. And this essentially means that whatever storage capacity you purchase your iPhone with is what you're stuck with for the rest of the time that you use your phone. In my case, I have an iPhone 6s with only 16 gigabytes of storage. You can see I only have 1.12 gigabytes available. I didn't purchase this device immediately when it came out, but a few days after the launch day in 2015, I had this phone. Now, I found that this phone, the storage on it can get full pretty quickly, especially since that iOS itself actually takes up about 7.1 gigabytes of storage, which is a pretty decent chunk of the 16 gigabytes that's on here, so I really only have about 9 gigs to work with. Now, for the most part, I'm able to manage okay just doing regular tasks on my phone, but one area where I start to notice problems very quickly is pretty obviously 4K video recording. Now, I can only record about 5 straight minutes of 4K video on this phone before I have to connect it to my computer and copy all of the footage over and then delete the footage off of my phone and then record another 5 minutes again and have to repeat the whole process. So it can get very annoying having to deal with that. Now, I don't record 4K footage that often, but when I do, it can get annoying pretty quickly. And that is where devices like the iDisk right here come into play. Now, I just want to say up front that I'm not being paid or sponsored by OLALA, the company, to make this video. And the only reason why I accepted this product to review is because I believe this is something that I could actually use. I could actually see myself using this because this is a very convenient way to increase your iPhone storage capacity because it acts almost like a USB flash drive. So let's go ahead and take a look at the actual device itself right here. Now, it's a very simply designed device. I have the gold 64 gigabyte model right here, but it does come in a rose gold or a pink color, and you can also get it in 128 gigabytes if you want to. But the one that they sent me is the gold 64 gigabyte. And it just has 2 ports on it. It's got a lightning connector on the left side here, or the right side, depending on how that you look at it. And this is what pretty obviously is going to be used to connect to your iPhone. Now, on the other side here, it has a USB Type A port, which is actually USB 3, which will essentially allow you to transfer footage to your computer at a much higher speed than USB 2.0. So how does it actually work? Well, the device itself communicates with the iPhone through an app called iDisk Me that you can download for free from the App Store. Now, when you first plug the iDisk into your iPhone, you'll see a notification pop up that asks you to give the device permission to communicate with the app. Now, everything else happens from within the app itself. Now, the app allows you to view the capacity of both your phone and the iDisk, and the center wheel gives you a few shortcuts to view specific files that are on the iDisk. So if you've taken any photos and saved them to the iDisk, they will show up when you click on Photos. To view all the files on the iDisk, just tap the button on the bottom right. This will bring up a list of all the files and folders on the disk. Now, you can easily add files by tapping on the plus button in the bottom left corner. Here you can create new folders to organize files, copy photos and videos from your camera roll, and what's really nice is that you can even open the app's built-in camera to take photos and videos to save them directly to the iDisk itself without even having to go through the phone storage, which is pretty convenient. The only problem is the app's camera only records at 1080p 30 fps, even if you change the camera's resolution from the iOS settings app. Now, this is definitely a problem for me because when I'm recording 4K video, I still have to stop every 5 minutes, but instead of having to connect my phone to my PC, I can just plug it into the iDisk and copy the file over to it. Not the way that I hoped I would have to do things, but it does work. Another problem that I have with the iDisk is that it won't connect to my phone when I'm using my Spigen Tough Armor case. Now, this is because of the way the iDisk is designed. The lightning connector protrudes out of the iDisk, but it isn't long enough to accommodate for a case when you're using it. So if you're planning on using your case case with a device like this, you might want to consider some other options that are designed a bit differently, like the SanDisk iExpand or the RAV power drive, which both have a small cable attached that plug into your phone, similar to a charging cable. While these devices are not the most convenient solutions to adding extra storage space to your phone compared to using something like an SD card on Android devices, it's really the only way that you can expand your iPhone's capacity without using a wireless backup service, unless Apple miraculously decides to add an SD card slot on their next generation phone, which is highly unlikely. Now, for what it is, the OLALA iDisk does a decent job at increasing the storage space on your phone. Now, that being said, this device is not for everybody. Starting with the iPhone 7, Apple killed off the 16GB option entirely, and now the minimum storage capacity on a new iPhone is 64GB. So most of you guys who use a newer iPhone probably are not needing to expand your storage at all. But in the case that you do, the OLALA iDisk is an option to consider. Now, yeah, you'll have to deal with the small box sticking out of your phone, which kind of reminds me of the Richard Solo battery backups from the early days of the iPhone. However, I don't think that this device was designed to be a permanent solution. This is something meant to be used every so often, kind of like the Richard Solo was. When your phone gets full and you're not near a computer, just plug in the iDisk, copy some photos and videos over to it, and continue on about your day. The iDisk starts at $41.99 for the 64GB model, but OLALA is offering you guys a 60% discount code good through the end of this month, which will bring the cost down to just a little over $16. So this could make a great stocking stuffer for an iPhone user that you know. The link and coupon code will be down in the video description below. Anyways, that's all that I have for this review video. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.